Hi friend, welcome back to my kitchen. If YouTube brought you here, welcome. My name is Stacy, and around here I create quick, easy, delicious, affordable meals. Well, today I have to know, how do we feel about this, friends? Do we love this or do we hate this? I guess it would help if I did that. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of cottage cheese. I don't know if it's the texture. I don't know if it's the tanginess. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm just not a fan. However, these recipes are everywhere on the internet, right? You can go anywhere from a sweet cheesecake pudding to a savory Alfredo sauce. The recipes are everywhere, and I have to admit, I'm a little curious. So I bought a few things of cottage cheese, and this week we're gonna try and see if we can convert me from a cottage cheese hater to a cottage cheese lover. Let's get to it. Let's talk tools really quickly. Now, there is a whipped version of cottage cheese that's out there, but I couldn't find that in my local store. So I'm gonna have to whip this cottage cheese myself. I'm either gonna use my immersion blender or I'm going to use my NutriBullet. But if you have a blender, a food processor, or if you can find that whipped cottage cheese, that's what you're gonna need to put these recipes together. I hope you enjoy them. This Alfredo sauce is super easy, and the only thing I want you to remember is a quarter. Everything is based on either quarter cup measurements or quarter teaspoon measurements. Super simple. So first we have our quarter cup of cottage cheese, and I'm gonna put that in my immersion cup. It's just a cup with taller sides that came with my immersion blender, but you could do this in a mason jar. Here we have a quarter cup of heavy cream and a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese. Then we're gonna add our spices, and our spices are parsley, oregano, basil, salt, and pepper. And like I said, a quarter teaspoon of all of those. And I'm gonna make this Alfredo sauce over linguine, but you could do over penne. The possibilities are endless. Now, I need to cook the pasta because I also need a quarter cup of pasta water. So I'm going to let this sit, and then when our pasta is done, we're gonna add a quarter cup of the pasta water. While our pasta is cooking, I am gonna go ahead and add the garlic clove as well. So we're just going to press that right into our ingredients, into our blender cup, and now we just wait for that pasta water. Now that our pasta's done, I've saved a half of a cup of pasta water, but we're only gonna use a quarter of that, but I wanted to take a half just in case I needed to add just a little bit more liquid. So into our cup it goes, and I'm just gonna keep checking to make sure that it's a quarter of a cup. There we go. And now we're just gonna use our immersion blender to blend it all smooth. Now we have a little bit of chunkiness on our immersion blender, but remember we have that Parmesan cheese in there. So that's what that's from. Okay, I'm just gonna set this off to the side, and then we're gonna pour that Alfredo sauce right into the warm pan. And we'll just give it a quick mix here. Where is that smell-o-vision when you need it, friend? Now I can let this sit for just a few minutes, and it will thicken up because of that pasta water in this warm pan. You can probably see it starting to thicken up a little bit here. Alrighty, so I've grabbed a set of tongs, and we are just going to load this up in our bowl. I'm so excited for lunch today. Now I do have just a little bit of extra Parmesan cheese and some parsley. Now you could add a chicken breast to this to bump up your protein even more. Let's go in for the perfect bite, shall we? Grab some of that extra Parmesan, the garlic. Yummy. Make this one, friends, even if you think you hate cottage cheese. Trust me. It's Taco Tuesday, so cheese dip sounds like an excellent way to use some cottage cheese. Now for this recipe, all you need to do is think half. We have a half of a cup of cottage cheese, and again, it's in my immersion blender cup. Then to that, we're gonna add a half of a cup of shredded cheese. Then we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of taco seasoning. Now I do have a recipe on my website for homemade taco seasoning. I'll be sure to link that in the description below. And then we're gonna come in and use a half of a can of Rotel. You can use the whole can, but I would start with a half first and see if that's the spice level you like and the thickness level you like before you use the whole can. Just gonna get a little bit of that juice in there. There we go. Now we just have to whir this up. Now that we're all whirred up, we can just take this out and serve it up. But this is perfect for Taco Tuesday. I think that half can of Rotel is just perfect here. What do you think? Will you try this one? It's really easy. Let's go in for a taste. You can see now this one is a little chunky. It could be just a little bit smoother. So this may be a good one for the blender, but it's chunky in a good way. It's really good, friends. I think you'll like it. Even with it being a little chunky, it really isn't bad at all. The flavors of this taco seasoning really shine here. So make sure that you season it with a very yummy taco seasoning. But I think you'll like this one. Before you go, you guys always like to know what I do with the leftovers. So there is a half a can of Rotel in here, and it's Taco Tuesday. So I'm going to put this in my seasoned taco meat tonight when we make our tacos. How about a dessert break? What do you think? Is this in line with the channel, Simple Meals? It could be a simple meal, right? Let me know in the comments if you want to see more desserts for one, because anytime I have an excuse to create a recipe for one, especially a dessert, I love it. So let me know in the comments if you want more desserts or if I should just stick to meal ideas. This one is gonna be a blueberry cheesecake. I'm so excited. This is gonna start with a half of a cup of cottage cheese. Now a half of a cup of cottage cheese has 13 grams of protein in it. I was shocked when I found that out. So we're just having a protein cheesecake, right? Now I am gonna do this one in the NutriBullet. So I have the little blender cup here. So we have our 1/2 cup of cottage cheese, and to this we're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk. Now this is the cheesecake package here. I could not find the fat-free version, so I went with full fat, but there's a great Weight Watchers recipe that I'll link to in the description. It's for the entire box though, instead of just a recipe for one, but it's another great one that is less calories and less Weight Watchers points. But for now, we're using full fat, full sugar. And we have 2 tablespoons of that cheesecake mix. And we're gonna put this in here. Now I'm gonna save my blueberries until the end, just so we'll have the cheesecake on the bottom and then the blueberries for the topping. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna put the lid on and mix it up in the NutriBullet. This one ends up to be pretty thick, as you can tell. If you want it a little thinner, you could always add more milk, but let's see what we're working with here. Oh, look at that. Light and fluffy. Okay, I can't stand it. Let me go grab a spoon. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's delicious. This is cottage cheese? No way. No way. All right, let's pour this out. Wow, this is a great way to get your protein in. We're just gonna take this and top it with our blueberries. You could top it with raspberries. You could top it with strawberries. I mean, anything would go along with this cheesecake flavor. Oh my goodness. 13 grams of protein in here, friend. Do this one, for sure. Now you all know I can't let a week go by and not use Betty the crock pot. If you're new around here, you may not know that I am obsessed with my crock pot, and I have named her Betty. So Betty shows up here often, and today she's going to show up to make our buffalo chicken dip. I am so excited about this one, friends. Now, I am taking inspiration for this one from All Recipes on their channel. They did a great big full-size version of this, but 2 things. I had to make it simple and I had to make it for one. So this is my version. But if you want a full-size recipe, be sure to check out All Recipes video on that. Alrighty, so I have a chicken breast that I've cut up and I'm gonna put it in to my crock pot. Now this one, I'm not gonna whip the cottage cheese. I'm a little concerned about that because I told you, I don't know about the texture, but we're just gonna trust, right? Just trust the process. So a 1/2 cup of cottage cheese goes in. Just have to encourage it a little bit to come out of there. Now I have a 1/2 teaspoon of my ranch seasoning blend. If you're new around here and you don't know, I love to create seasoning blends, and I'll be sure to put this seasoning blend recipe in the description below. That goes in. Now this is 2 tablespoons of buffalo sauce. If you don't have a pre-made buffalo sauce, you can just make it by using a tablespoon of Frank's Red Hot and a tablespoon of butter. And then if you're a spice wimp like me, you can go more butter than Frank's. Super simple to make yourself, but here is a pre-made buffalo sauce here. And there is 2 tablespoons there, so that will go in. And we're gonna put in a little bit of cheese into this mixture. We're gonna stir this all together. Now, as is with the cottage cheese, the chicken breast, and the cheese, you're looking at 48 grams of protein. That is crazy to me that this is 48 grams of protein. Unbelievable. Alrighty, now we're just going to top this with just a little bit more cheese. It's about a half a cup that you're going to end up using, and so there's a little bit more that's in here. I went ahead and shredded a cup, so there's a little extra. Now all we have to do is just warm this through. So I'm going to cook this on high, probably about an hour and a half, and then check it, and then if the cheese is melty, we are ready to eat. It's been 2 hours. Let's see how we look. Oh, yum. That looks fabulous. You can see the cheese is all melted. It's nice and bubbly. Now I have this set up as a dip with some tortilla chips, but this would be great in a wrap with some lettuce and tomato. It would be so good. Let's see. You can see that ranch seasoning. Yummy. What do you think, friend? Will you try this one? Even though the cottage cheese wasn't blended, I still think this one is delicious. Add it to your must make, friends. And remember, as a dip, as a wrap, with a knife and a fork. You don't even need a knife, just with a fork. It's delicious. Another must do. I have been totally converted, friend. I cannot believe how good these recipes turned out. I think the key is that smooth texture for me, but I am a total cottage cheese convert. I will be adding this all the time. I think it's a great swap in that buffalo chicken and in that Alfredo sauce for sour cream. So if you're looking to kind of pack a protein punch to your meals, cottage cheese, whipped smooth, of course, may be an option for you. I definitely think you should try it. I am so surprised, and I hope you enjoyed going along this ride with me this week. I do it every single week. If you're looking for meal ideas for one, or if you just want a little inspiration to try something new, I hope that you join me. I hope you hit that subscribe button, because that's how you're going to know when I do a new video. YouTube will tell you in your inbox that I've released a new video if you hit that notification bell. So hit that too. And if you like this video and if you're going to try it, then give me a like. I love that too. You know I always love connecting with you in the comments section. So leave me a comment and let me know. Do you love cottage cheese? Are you a cottage cheese hater? These recipes might just change your mind, friend. I'll see you next week. Have a great one. Bye.